Scott, you want to lead? Or it's me?
Humbling Elder. Blue for a creature human monk. It's a 1/2 with flash. When this creature enters, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-0 until end of turn. This is a little strange. I think it's really easy to call back to Cogwork Wrestler from LCI, which I think was good. A lot of the part because of its card type being an artifact. I don't necessarily think that just the effect on its own was powerful. I guess the joke for Jeskai is here that it's cheap, so you can double spell with it, but it's also kind of weird to trigger your flurry stuff on your turn sometimes, because this kind of seems much better at manipulating their combat than your combat. So that's a little bit awkward on that front. I'm not overall super high on Humbling Elder. I don't expect this to be a set where I'm going to be happy running multiple Humbling Elders just because I can't use the additional bodies quite as well. But it's fine. I'm going to give this a D+.
I mean, it's always fine, always good, right? But yeah, there's no artifacts, ninjas, and things like that. Not much sec. I don't know. I'm gonna see. You almost always like this effect. Usually it's just, a lot of times it's C+, so I don't think it's gonna be lower than C. Just a really nice effect.
Can you name another card besides Cogwork Wrestler?
Sorry, what?
Can you name another card? You said this is always, but can you name another card besides Cogwork Wrestler that was like remotely
There's that
good?
ninja in, where was that? Zendikar or Theros? I think Zendikar. A fairy was a flyer, right? So that was really good. I remember some. I know there was a
Weirdly
ninja
enough,
in
I
Zendikar.
remember Fairy Duelist being pretty overrated. But maybe that's just me.
Maybe.
I guess maybe I'm kind of low on it.
There's also some really nice detachers in this set, I guess, so this helps with that. But yeah, I'm gonna see, at least. I don't think it's ever lower. But it could be C-. Like in Azorius, maybe you're just gonna go a little bit wider, have more creatures, and then you do this, and then you have a good amount of card drawings on those beasts. So that could be nice. Ringing Strike Mastery for a blue enchant creature. When this aura enters, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Huh. But if opponent pays 5, they can untap the creature. When is this good? If you have crazy card advantage, or if you're very aggressive. Like you have crazy late game, or you're very aggressive. Blue actually doesn't have great card draw in this set. I don't like this much. But it's really good if you're aggressive. It's so good if you're aggressive. What do you think, Scotty? Man, it's hard for me to grade.
Yeah, this is interesting. It's kind of funny because I do understand that it's really good if you're aggressive. However, if you're aggressive, they can pay 5 mana once and they just never have to pay for it. Rather, if you're defending yourself, they have to pay 5 mana every time they want to attack with this, which is kind of interesting. This is I like that this card is in this set because I think this is a really spicy one. I think this is really spicy. Typically, we've seen these type of effects in white, temporary but highly efficient removal spells. And those have always been just really good in aggro. But this has a little bit of extra play to it. Lolo was looking for card advantage cards specifically because if you can make up for card advantage, this gives you time, but gets you down on card advantage, right? So if you have cards that are the opposite, which gives you cards in exchange for time, that balances out to be a really, really good deck. Like this can buy you time for you to draw extra cards. But if there's not that much in this set, then unfortunately that out is gone. That out is gone. I still think that this is fine. I don't necessarily want a ton of them, but I can imagine there being some like power space aggressive deck where you'd be happy running like 4 of these. But I'm going to start this as a C-, kind of a coward C-, but I could see it going way up.
I'm on a D+. I don't think I can put many of these in the deck. But if you are aggressive, sure. I mean, Oh, gotta be aggressive or drawing a lot of cards. But blue doesn't. I don't think blue draws that many cards. It's okay. It has fine card draw. It's a fine card draw, but nothing that special. Mm. It doesn't remove abilities. This thing, like a lot of things, actually have an ability. Yeah, on D plus.
So I've got.
I don't think this is gonna be great, but it's gonna have some decks, I guess. What do you want to say?
I've got a thing to ask you.
Hmm?
If you play this and you assume that you're only going to hit 2 drops or 3 drops,
That's better, yeah.
your opponent's on like let's the play pattern is on turn 5. Your opponent's not going to untap, right? They're going to do something else. So this is going to take out their 2 drop or 3 drop until they have mana to waste on untapping this, right? Which is a huge problem, sure, right? But like you're most likely going to be hitting cheap cards that you would just trade with otherwise, like just really really low impact cards. So that like paying 5 mana to untap them is like pretty unappealing, but it does get you for sure past those early stages.
Yeah.
And it's so cheap.
Yeah, like it's a better bounce of, but it's a better bounce for 1 drops, 2 drops, 3 drops, 4 drops, right? But it also doesn't protect you like a bounce of.
Well, I mean, like, like Locker Room, right? Or whatever that card was. Bottomless Pool.
I don't know. I mean, when I do use this on 2 drop, 3 drop, don't I want to like play it for 2 drop and trade?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. It's gotta be crazy aggressive. So like use this on their 4 drop, 5 drop, 6 drop, right? They paid 4 and they pay 5 mana again. That's like you paid 1 and they paid 5. Like it is that. Like you pay 1, they pay 5. But you better do something with this. I'm still on a D+. But I can see it being much better. Again, super ton of card draw, so you need tempo. This is great tempo. It's 1 for 5, it's great tempo. Or 1 for 4, depending what you tap at first. After they pay 5, it's 1 for 5. Before they tap 5, you're removing more than 1 mana. Or super aggression, and then you just know you're gonna steal the game. So I can see it being okay, but D+ for starters. I could be very wrong. I can see that as well.
Unending Whisper. Unending Whisper is blue, draw a card. Sorry, blue sorcery, draw a card. Harmonize, 5 and a blue. This is the first time we're going to read Harmonize and the last time, but you may cast this card from your graveyard for its Harmonize cost. You may tap a creature you control to reduce that cost by X, where X is its power. Then exile this spell. There's a lot going on with Unending Whisper. This is the card that makes it pretty easy to set up double spell turns for Jeskai based decks. This is a card that you can mill over in Sultai to have additional value and just have them in your graveyard for late game grinding ability. It's not that expensive to just like cast out from your hand when you have mana left over. Let's not completely discount how expensive it is to harmonize.
Yeah.
The dream, obviously, or rather, the dream could seem to be to tap a 5-power creature to cast this for 1, but then you're tapping a 5-power creature instead of attacking or blocking, which is very, very expensive.
Yep.
I do think that overall, this will be a solid role player for a lot of different decks, but maybe not one that you need to jam super highly. Or clamor over with other drafters to fit in your deck. I think it's fine. I think this is like a C-.
Like 1 mana draw card, they just cycle, right? But it's sorcery also, so that kind of sucks. But I guess you do just cycle it. The first effect is not that big of a problem. So I can actually see it being a C-, because or even higher, because like it's such a small cost to pay 1 and just get a real card, right? And then at one point you can get that extra card. Okay? But white is so much better at doing this, man. There's a freaking 4/3 that draws you a card. Yeah, C- seems fine. I don't care about a card. Wingspan Stride. 1 mana, enchant creature gets +1/+1 and has flying. For 2 and a blue, return this aura to its owner's hand. So you can double spell with it for 4 mana. Right? You play this, you return for 5 mana. You play this, you return it, you play it again. I guess if they would kill the creature, you can get it back, but 3 is so much to pay. Once it's in the graveyard, it's in the graveyard. Again, no, flyer doesn't seem like a big deal. It's mostly uncommons in this set. But it's 1 mana, like, let's kill the opponent. I guess you can move it to a bigger creature later, is what kind of the dream can be. I'm okay with a D on this one. 2 for 1 is too problematic, and there's really good removal in this set.
Yeah, the 2-for-1 potential is rough. I don't really believe in the double spelling dream.
Same.
However, I do think that the base of giving flying to things that should not have flying is very strong.
Yeah,
I just think in general that idea is very strong. So I'm giving this a D+.
Okay. Weak shit, I think.
This was called a Wingspan. Okay, hold on. Sorry, give me a second.
I read the next
Wingspan
one.
Stride? Yeah.
Agent of Chorus. For 1 and a blue, it's a 2-1. That's it. But it can renew. This is the first time we get renew. Renew is blue, green, black. Blue, green, black. So Sultai keyword that cards are going to have in those 3 colors. So this is how it works. You pay 3 and a blue for this card, exile it from your graveyard, and you put 2+1/+1 counters on any target creature. Activate only a sorcery. Every single renew is going to be, you're going to be paying some mana, exiling a creature from your graveyard, and putting some sort of counters on your creatures. It could be death touch counter, it could be flying, it could be +1/+1, or a combination of multiples. Renew is not always 2 counters, it's different counters, maybe it's 0 +1/+1 counters, it's just counters. So that's pretty cool for 2-drop, like 2 mana, 2/1, you block, attack, whatever, trade it, hopefully it's something, and then you can make something bigger that shouldn't be bigger. I like that. It's good if you mill it, it's better if you mill it, obviously. This doesn't work with Flurry, because when you exile, that is an ability, it's not a spell. Oh, works as a Flurry is a 2-drop? Nah, then everything works with Flurry. That goes too, so don't care much about it. I don't think Flurry is a real thing in most decks. I wanna see. This is good. I like this. But it's a weak 2-drop.
It is a weak 2-drop, and for that I'm giving it a C-.
I give it a C- from his own. It is a freaking 2-1, that's true. If
Yeah,
you can mill a lot, this gets better.
It's also a little clunky to add the counters on, you know? As much as I'd like to say, oh, if this dies, great value. It's a little expensive to then be utilizing the counters, because you have to develop your board after that and then use this to like kind of go all in. If it gets removed, then you can tempo yourself. So it's going to be something that you usually do when you have nothing else to do. So I'm not super high on it.
Blue and red have some things that make you discard from your hand. That make you draw and discard, or discard and draw.
Yep.
So that's where it can get better.
Dispelling Exhale. 1 and a blue for an instant. As an additional cost, you may behold a dragon. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. If a dragon was beheld, counter that spell unless its controller pays 4 instead. Yeah, unfortunately, this is way more quench than it is, you know, the good variations we've seen recently. Yeah, sure, sometimes you're gonna have a dragon, but that's relatively inconsistent. In the late game, when you kind of want to be able to tax more, you kind of want to also cast your dragons, and then you're not gonna have them anymore. Wait, in your hand? Oh, you can control it. You can just sorry.
You can control.
Exclude what I've said from that.
Behold always
they
lets you
can be in
control,
play.
yeah.
That's fine. But it's still relatively inconsistent. And me, I'm not really into quench. Some sets are quench sets. I don't believe this is going to be a quench set. In fact, I believe most sets aren't quench sets. So I'm kind of on a D+ for this one.
And if you have a couple of dragons, if you're playing white-blue,
yeah,
then this is amazing. It's almost 2 mana counter spell. Any spell. instant sorcery. So I'm okay with a D+, but can we give it a ceiling, like a C+ ceiling? Or a C ceiling?
Sure.
What do you want, C or C+?
C, please.
C, okay. Because, I mean, counter basically anything that's pretty good. Timur Devotee for 1 and a blue. It's a 3/3 defender, and this is another Devotee. I think all of them are Devotee, if can't really remember. We have again one of these in every single color. This one is gonna be Timur, obviously. It's green, blue, or red. You can filter your mana once per turn, which is pretty nice if you really need that. You gotta be kinda 3/3 defender is horrible, right? That is bad because you can never attack with it. Opponent can do nothing, and you're not gonna punish them. Like they can just be having the horrible game, and then you're basically when you play defender, you tell them it's fine, it's fine. You can have a horrible game. I'm gonna give you time. Your game gets better. That is a huge problem with defenders. So that's why I kind of don't like it. But then again, if you need ways to fix, if you have a crazy 3-color cards and so on, splashes, it gets better. So I'm gonna be on a C- for this one, I guess. But it could be a D+. But let's give it a C- because you might need this effect.
Yeah, I'm really not particularly into the fact that you can't pressure in certain situations. A lot of the variations we've seen from those can pressure in certain situations. Yeah, even Midnight Mangler from the last set. D+ for me.
Yeah, the problem is like even when your deck is the slowest deck ever, you don't want defenders because the best way to win with your slow, stally, ramped card draw deck is to kill the opponent in the early turns. Are you gonna do that? Sometimes. You go on the play, you clear out, they get lane screwed, you kill them. A lot of the games go like that with slower decks, especially in limited, where being on the draw is very different than being on the play. I mean, it's different everywhere, but in limited it can be. It's a bit hard to be aggressive when you're on the draw. So even when it looks like you're in a slow deck, defender is a huge liability because you're never punishing the opponent. Why is the best way to win with a slow deck by attacking the opponent in the early turns? It's because you have a slow deck. If they are on the back foot, if they're low on life, you're gonna destroy them in the late game because you have the slow deck. You are at the advantage in the late game. So if any deck that's faster than yours cannot just attack whenever they feel like it. If they're afraid of their life total because you punish them with attacks when they had a bad early turns, you're basically impossible to lose. So yeah, C-, but I can see it being a D+. Defender 3/3 is very bad. Very, very, very bad. Nah, give it a D+ for me as well, Scotty. Sorry to change the grade. Give it a D+ for me, please.
Okay, yeah, High Spire Bellringer, 2 and a blue for a creature Jin Monk. It's a 1/4 with flying. The second spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast. 3 mana for a 1/4 flyer is kind of crap. Pretty bad. This ability doesn't read particularly well to me. It's fine. It's okay. Yeah, sometimes it's going to enable double spelling on turns. It's going to make your turns 4 or 5 potentially a lot more efficient, and you get to trigger some stuff. And then after that, not as much the value. So I'm relatively low on this. I also think this is a D+.
I'm gonna be on a D+ as well. Especially with Mobilize being the set, you wanna be able to block and trade or kill that creature, so just a D+. Pretty big body for not a great effect. Deep Sig Appraiser for 2 and a blue, it's a 2/1. When this creature enters, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. That's something I get behind. So it has a stat line of a bad 2-drop, but you're getting the best out of the top 2 cards in your deck. Not bad. Not a bad thing. I'm okay with a C. What do you think?
I think this one's pretty good. Yeah, so the stats are crap, right? Um,
Really bad. Tutu
but
is much better as well.
like you're gonna be happy if this can trade off with something. But if this trades off with something, you like are really happy.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm gonna mind having multiple of these in the 3-drop slot, like a decent amount.
That's true.
And also, like you play a second one, it double blocks extremely well. Like it doesn't survive, sure, but it can help kill larger things. Like it's not completely worthless.
Tutu's
So
double
I
block
actually
well.
think
This
it's
double blocks horribly, not extremely well, right? This
well
double blocks
because it
horribly.
already got its value, right? You
That's
know.
true. That's true.
So you're right. It technically doesn't double block well, but I don't mind double blocking with it. I don't mind just throwing this in front of something else just to assist blocks. So yeah, that's fine. I think this is a C plus. Got a C,
Riverwalk.
right?
Let's start as a C, but I usually love this effect, so we're gonna see how aggressive the set is. 2-1 is a horrible stat line on 3-drop in this set with Mobilize as well. So I don't know. we gotta see how fast the set is.
Riverwalk technique, 3 and a blue for an instant. Choose one. The owner of target non-land permanent puts it on their choice of the top or bottom of their library, or counter non-creature spell. So yeah. yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a lot of medium. It's pretty undesirable. I can see I'm gonna put this card in my deck because I don't have enough playables or I'm really desperate to be able to touch my opponent's cards, but almost nothing else. I don't value target non-creature spell counter as a lot. It's just very feel bad all around. This is a D for me.
I'm okay with a D, but it's... eh. Gonna be a D plus a lot of times. I mean, maybe it's a D plus, but let's start with a D. Now, this is like a baby Organ Hoarder, right? Organ Hoarder was a 4 mana 3-2 that looks at top 3 cards of your library and does the same. Look, get one. And that was broken. But that also traded with basically every 3-drop and 2-drop. This set has Mobilize.
Pretty big difference in stats.
Huh?
Pretty big difference in stats, yes.
Yeah, it's huge difference, I think. And also, it is a 4-drop. I can see it being a C+. Maybe it is a C+. But I'm so worried about mobilizing this set. And +1/+1 counters. Okay, give it a C+ from me as well. Is that okay?
Yep.
Next up we have Snow Melt Stag. For 3 and a blue. It's a 2/5 Vigilance. That's bad. But during your turn, it has a base power and toughness 5/2. That's really bad. But for 7 mana, this creature cannot be blocked this turn. Okay, so you can deal 5 damage to them for 7. I don't like 4 mana 2/5s though. Kinda cool, like usually a long time ago, 7 years ago or something, we were getting, maybe even less, we were getting like 4 mana 2/5s with no text. It was so bad. But I guess this, like, that white enchantment gets it back, sure, the mythic. I mean, it is a clock when you have nothing else to do, I guess, but I hate the stat line, man. I'm just gonna give it a D. Yeah. Nothing good about it. That's the problem. A lot of things, nothing good about it.
It's a lot of text for nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Focus the Mind, 4 and a blue for an instant. This spell costs 2 less to cast if you cast another spell this turn. Draw 3 cards, then discard a card. So if you're double spelling, this costs 3. So it's a full divination. You're still probably casting it on like turn 5 or turn 4 if you're lucky. The effect is okay. The effect is fine. Like this is a decent amount of card advantage, significantly stronger than just draw 2. However, conditional in terms of like you actually being able to double spell with this.
Yep.
And for 5 mana, it's not very good. Not very good. So
it's very bad.
Unfortunately, I think, and I could be wrong, I could be vastly misevaluating the Jeskai ability to double spell when they want to, but I do think that this is worse than the 4 mana version all the time, right? Sift, Reign of Revelation, stuff like that. So I'm kind of not about this. This is C- for me.
I'm on D+, I think. The problem is, like, It's hard. It's a little bit hard to. You always play these effects as late as you can. That's when you want to draw cards. So at that point, it's a bit hard to have like a 2-drop to double spell with, or 1-drop or something. I'm just on a D+, it's a common. If you need it, you get it anyways. And I don't think there's a lot of payoffs for flurrying, so nothing special. Nothing special. But it's a lot of card advantage, so yeah. It is instant. It is instant, I guess. Okay. Ice Ridge Serpent for 4 and a blue. This is the most interesting card so far. Blue is a little bit not super interesting, I think, to me at least. 5 mana 3/3. When this creature enters, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Okay, simple card, like, right? But we had a 3 mana 2/2. Broken, always completely broken. We had a 4 mana 3/2 in Foundations. That's amazing. You're always you're basically playing it for free most of the times. And they a lot of the cards were pushed. I think this is a good direction that they're going for. Like, a lot of the cards were pushed. That we saw in sets in the last like 5 years in all of Magic existence, but they made them a lot better because they're always bad in limited. But then this is a thing we always see, but it's been, the power creep is not happening here. It became a lot worse, right? The card became a lot worse because it's always like one of the best cards in the set. Last time we had a crazy 5 mana 4/4 that reduces the speed. Like, it's obviously a billion times better, and it has artifact synergies as well. So still definitely playable. That's the effect, right? If you bounce a 4-drop, you basically got a 1 mana 3/3. If you bounce a token, well, you just got a 3/3 that kill their 2/2. And there's good amount of tokens in white. It's weird because you don't know how many 5-drops you can include in the deck, right? When this is a 4-drop or a 3-drop, it always gets you back on tempo. 5-drops, because it's very small stated. But it also, there are things that put +1/+1 counters on their creatures, so you remove that. So it's still gonna be good, probably. I'm just gonna, I think I'm gonna give it a C+ again. Can't give. I'm happy that this was powered down, not powered up like we see a lot of cards. Now that's a really cool direction that our R&D are going, the Magic is going, right? You make some cards that were here forever, you make them weaker, even though some cards need to be made stronger, and you make more things playable and not broken. So what do you think, Scotty?
Yeah, I think in the context of the set, this effect is very, very, very strong.
Yeah.
Very strong. Specifically, it's going to feel like you cast this, bouncing something, resetting counter is going to feel great. Bouncing a token is going to feel great. So I think that this needed to be powered down. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it was stronger in development and had to be nerfed. But C+ for me as well. It's time for the common dragon in blue.
Okay.
This is Digger. Diger? Island Dragon.
Durger.
5 blue. For a creature dragon, has flying, ward 2, and is a 4/4. But its omen is 1 and a blue. For a tap, up to 1 target creature, draw a card. Yeah, I'm not in love with the dragon part. I'm not in love with the skimming strike part. I'm not in love with anything. And I think that having both of them combined is okay, is decent.
I think it's
but not
okay.
amazing. I'm not actually particularly happy to include this in my deck. I think I want to include this in my deck specifically if I have some dragon synergies, but not much more. Because I don't think this is a good way to double spell. I don't think this is a good way to survive until you hit late game. And I don't think this is a good finisher. So this is a C- for me.
Yeah, I don't think it's... this is what I said, like, White Dragon, really nice, both effects. Really important. Every other dragon doesn't feel like that. We're gonna get to the other ones. The other ones are, some are better for sure. But it's a 6 mana 4/4 flyer. I really, really don't want that. And a 2 mana tap target creature and draw card, I really, really don't want that. Just gain me a little bit of life, deal a little bit of damage. I want to impact the board. I want to pay mana to impact the board. That's what I want to do with my mana. Impact the board, not freaking gain a bit of life. So, horrible effect and a horrible 6-drop. The only saving grace is you better need dragons. But I don't think I got this one. I think this is a D. And it's horrible. I think both are really bad. It's like nothing is saving it. It's like, oh, I have a. Usually, conditionality means like, okay, I can do one thing is gonna be good. Nothing is gonna be good here. The 6-drop or a 2-drop is never gonna be good. So you better have a real ton of behold or something, I guess. That a lot of those enchantment that cares about dragons. And then I guess you can put these if you didn't get the other ones. If your opponent pays 5 to untap their creature, you can tap it again. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. Scotty.
That's very funny.
That's really cool. But if you're at that point of the game, don't you just pay 6 mana to play a 4/4 Ward 2 flyer? Probably. So I don't know. I don't see anything. It's similar to conditionality. Like, okay, conditionality. 3 mana, destroy target artifact or enchantment. So if there are not many enchantments or artifacts in the set, neither is gonna be good. It's the same thing here. 2 effects that are never desirable. This is more like you can always do this, but they're never desirable. So I'm on a D just because you might need a dragon. And it's okay for double spelling. I don't know, man. On their turn, double spelling on their turn, I guess. I guess 2 mana and then draw those cards. You really won't think it's a C range?
It's pretty bad. I could just see D plus. The only way that we're wrong about this in terms of it being pretty bad is if the dragon stuff is like way more real than we think it is, and then picking up dragons even speculatively is desirable. But I'll go D plus to start. Pretty bad.
The thing is, the dragon thing, I think, is real on uncommon, when you get those enchantments that can come back to your hand.
Yeah.
But on common, Behold doesn't really do that much to play bad cards. So,
Yeah.
because there's only Behold only exists on common level. Buha, mir, Buha, hijo. Hey, can you start with the uncommons?
Yep. Oops. Start reading. We're talking about Dragonstorm Forecaster. Dragonstorm Forecaster is blue for a creature human scout. It's an 0/3. 2 and tap to search your library for a card named Dragonstorm Globe or Boulderborn Dragon. Reveal it and put into your hand, then shuffle. We talked about this when we went through the colorless cards, but just as a reminder, Dragonstorm Globe is a 3 mana rock that when a dragon enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. And Boulderborn Dragon is a 5 mana 3/3 flying vigilance dragon that when it attacks, you surveil 1, I believe. Both of those cards are not very strong. But if you drop this on turn 1, and that's a big if, then turn 2 you can fetch something. Turn 3 you can like play your mono rock that you fetched, and then after that you can pull a bunch of mediocre cards out of your deck. The problem is the cards that you're fetching here are quite bad, and they don't stack particularly well together. This is probably a callback to when this was first in the set, and in the core set, which was something Weaponsmith, right? Renowned Weaponsmith.
Yeah, I guess the...
When you can fetch bows, but bows also stacked really well. These cards do not.
And they were cheaper,
They
and they
don't.
killed their creatures,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and I do not see a type of scenario in this set for this card. I think this is playable. I do think it's playable, but I don't think it's good, nor do I want to take it particularly early. I'm giving this a D.
Yeah, I'm on a D as well, because it's a bad body and it gets bad things. So I guess if you have a lot of things that care about dragons. Can you read the next one? I got a reward for...
Of course. Let's talk about Spectral Denial. X and a blue for an instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X. Power 4 or greater and a cost reduction is not particularly easy for limited. For you to get a significant mana discount on this, not particularly easy. How good is this effect without a discount? Quite poor. You can counter stuff on curve, but it starts getting extremely awkward when you start moving past those initial developmental stages. You know, when your opponent goes 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop. But after that, this card gets awkward real quick, even in the super late game stages. Sometimes it'll just like whiff completely, even if you have like all your mana open, which is unfortunate. Overall, I think this is a pretty bad card. This is a D+ for me.
So this is complete garbage, right, Scotty?
I don't like it at all.
I'm giving it. I'm actually giving it an F. I don't think you ever put this in your deck.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, just never. It's like, sure, you can.
Oh, it did. I mean, did you like Syncopate?
Wait. I mean, wait. I'm an idiot. Wait a second. No. I'm not giving it an F. I'm not giving it an F. No. Wait. I don't know. Wait. No. It's not an F. It's not an F. It's okay. It does target. It does counter almost anything, and in the late game it counters anything, right? When you're both top decking, it is gonna counter the next card, right? So it's fine if you have 4 greater power. Helps a lot. So this is fine. This is just fine. I'm on a D+ or C-. Let's get a D+. Just a D+. It's fine. I would like Syncopate maybe more because there's like those renewal things that care about graveyard.
Yep.
No, it's not enough.
Fresh Start. I also gave it a D+.
Okay.
Fresh Start, 1 in a blue for an enchantment aura, flash, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets -5/-0 and loses all abilities. Ooh, this one is pretty good. To lose abilities, flash, affect combat, and basically take it out of combat is strong. We've seen effects like this that turn them into 1/1s, and a 1/1 is, I think, well, debatable. It depends on the situation whether or not -5/-0 or turning into 1/1 is better. But I think for a lot of cases, this is quite good. Just for the fact that it can most likely no longer trade, gets completely nerfed, and can sometimes just be used as a combat trick. Not bad. I think this effect is fine. This is C for me.
Medium. Flash is really big, right? But enchantment mattered in Duskmourn. Then it was 1 mana. It had there was a ton of card draw. It made something into 0, 2, right? 0/2, just like it's damn small. As that would be worse with the counters. That's true. It's fine. I'm gonna be on a C-. I'm not a big fan. It's fine because you can just put it on something if that's attacking or whatever. So loses all abilities is huge. It's definitely huge, but it leaves something behind. So I'm not big fan with these things. The only reason why what was the name in Duskmourn? Don't say a name, something like that.
Unable to scream.
Unable to scream. Why that was good is because a ton of card draw, enchantment matters, a ton of card draw. So 1 mana was huge. There you just like you could draw those cards and then remove something important. Even though it stayed behind, right? That was a big deal that it stayed behind. It's not removal. Not a removal. You're using a card, they're not losing a card. You are losing a card, they're not losing a card. Big deal. So yeah. Playable, definitely. Roiling Dragonstorm for 1 and a blue. It's an enchantment. Whenever this enchantment enters, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. And when Dragon Control enters, return this enchantment to its owner's hand. The blue has that garbage dragon, so that's not going to be a dragon you're going to be getting. But if you get some better dragons, that's pretty nice. And I really like it. I think it's a B-.
B-, yes. Good card.
Good card.
Nice. I do think it's weaker. Like it's nice that this is cheap, right? For rather than the white one, but the effect certainly is weaker. But
Yes.
it's a good card.
But you also like discarding in Sultai, so that's nice.
Yeah. Not bad. Let's go to Ureni's rebuff.
Mm-hmm.
1 blue for a sorcery. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Harmonize 5 and a blue. As I was saying, I think that bouncing is pretty good in this set. And be able to bounce again, bounce 2 things, sometimes in the same turn. This effect can get pretty nutty. I actually think this effect is very, very strong. You don't draw, but you can bounce 2. You can bounce 2 in the same turn. You can have a flexibility in it. You can reset counters. Powerful. I think this is a B minus.
B minus?
B minus.
It's a sorcery.
This is a good card. Yep, it's a sorcery. Yep.
You can get back your things that protects them from something, some enchantment based removal. The blue one, I guess, but you can just pay 5. Harmonize is again a lot to pay as well. You're gonna do it 2 times, I guess, so not value, but it's tempo. But then later on it's not real tempo. Sorcery is a huge problem. Like, this is so weak for sorcery, man. I cannot give it a high grade. Like, this being a sorcery, that is weak. But I guess there are tokens in this set, right? So that's kind of important. A good amount of them. Actually, a good amount of them. So that's why I give it a C. A C, because of the tokens. Otherwise, I don't really like it much.
I think this is one of Blue's better cards.
Sorry, what?
I think this is one of Blue's better cards.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
It's certainly interesting, but I mean, this Harmonize, you gotta pay so much. Return target creature to its owner's hand. That was the last card. Veteran Ice Climber for 1 and a blue. It's a 1/3 vigilance. This creature cannot be blocked, and whenever this creature attacks, up to 1 target player mills cards equal to this creature's power. Oh yeah, that's a 2-drop. This is amazing. So it's a 2-mana 1/3 that is every single turn gonna deal what? This is so pushed. This is crazy pushed. Every single turn is gonna deal 1 damage to the opponent. Every single turn, while it is gonna be able to block. So that's the start, right? And then it's also gonna mill you if you want it, or if you think you can kill the opponent, mill the opponent. You can buff this creature. I think most of the time you're milling yourself, but yeah, it's attacking and blocking every single turn. Doesn't have to block. So it's like, if you put a counter on it, opponent loses 2 life every single turn. 2 life every turn. And you can block with it. And you can mill yourself for them. I mean, that's just amazing. I'm gonna B minus or a B. This is crazy. I'm gonna B minus. At least. B. No, give it a B. Give it a B. This is crazy. What do you think, Scotty? Talk to me about it. Like, this card is interesting.
This is a really good card.
Talk to me.
Very strong, especially when you buff it.
But it's like, this is not normal, right?
This is very push for this effect, yes. Usually these can't block.
Yeah. Usually these are not 2-mana 1/3s as well. I mean, 2-mana 1/3, I guess, is nothing special there. What the hell? I think you're milling yourself most of the time, but you can choose. I'm gonna be.
Essence. Okay, you're on a B.
What? Nah, I can't give it a B because there are like such great cards in this set. I guess B minus then. But
okay.
Phew.
Essence Anchor, 2 and a blue for an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. You can tap, create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token, weird type line. Activate only during your turn and only if a card left your graveyard this turn. Harmonize leaves your graveyard. You can just naturally exile things with specific cards from your graveyard. You can buy things back with black, what are they called? Not revive. Raise dead type effects. And this just poops them out for free, right? This just poops it out for free, which is nice. And having no mana cost attached to it is nice, and having a surveil 1 is frankly speaking pretty nice. Question is, can you afford to cast this 3 mana do nothing? essentially. Can you afford that? I'm hoping yes. I don't think it's like incredibly expensive to do. Um, I think this does have like a ceiling thing attached to it, but I would take this at like a C plus.
There are not that many cards that remove things from your graveyard. Not that many. There are cards. But it's not like you're gonna be pooping them out all the time. It is surveil 1 every single turn, right? So you get like 1 zombie. If you can get 1 zombie pretty fast, this is very fast. If you get it very fast, like next turn, then that's great. That's a 2-2. You get a 2-2. And if you never get it again, but never get it again, you just surveil every single turn, even if the 2-2 dies. That's powerful for a 2-drop. What do you give it? C plus?
C plus.
Oh, we gotta have it as a build around, right?
We can give it a build around grade, but I'll take it a
It's
lot
powerful
more.
enough.
Sure.
No, for 3-drop. I mean, 2-2 is a 2-2 3-drop that surveils every turn. Even if he dies, that's already powerful. I'm gonna be on a C plus as well, but I think this is gonna have a horrible win rate. Ceiling of a B minus?
Sure.
Okay, I think
I mean, I definitely underestimated Surveil 1 every turn last set.
last set was very slow.
And I think it's Surveil 1 every turn is going to be maybe even better here. Because like there's just a lot more graveyard density carrying things.
That's true.
But, you know, manipulating your draw step is pretty dang good. And you don't have to sacrifice this one like you did last set. It's just going to be there forever.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Kishla Trawlers. 2 and a blue for a creature, human citizen. It's a 3-2. When this creature enters, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. When you do, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Ideally, trade off with something and then buy back a removal spell from your graveyard to your hand. You know, triggers the thing that we just saw. Totally fine. Pretty high upside, but you do have to jump through a couple of hoops. First of all, getting a creature in there, and then also getting the sorcery in there, or instant. Instant sorcery is a lot easier to do. You just cast it. Getting the creature can be a little bit of a hoop. This body in itself, when you cast this, probably not on curve, you know, on like turn 5, 6. It's there, but it's nothing special. I think this is a C+.
But you can play so 3 mana 3-2 as well.
You can, yes, if you have to.
I really like this card, man. The Omen cards, they're creatures, right? They're not instant or sorceries, right? Or are they both? The Omen cards. Then in the graveyard.
Ooh, I believe that omens are only creatures.
I think also that they're only creatures. Yeah, I'm into this. I'm on a also probably low win rate because depending how you use it, I'm gonna be on a B minus. I don't care that it's gonna have a low. Not very good. I think it's not gonna have a very good 7 lines winner, but there are really powerful instant sorceries. I believe in this set. So yeah, I'm okay with a B minus for this one. You gotta make a deck a little bit around it, maybe mill a bit, but I think it's gonna be great. Oh, can you read the next one, please?
Wingblade Disciple, 2 and a blue for a creature human monk. It's a 2-2 with flying. Flurry, when you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1-1 bird creature token with flying. Oh yeah, so Windrake, bad, right? 3 mana, 2-2 flying, bad card. How easy is Flurry to do? I think Flurry is quite difficult. I think that there's been effects like this where you create it when you draw your second card, when you cast an instant sorcery. I think all of those are easier to do than Flurry. I do. Still, that being said, I think this is fine because the effect is very, 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 very strong. But I don't think it's going to be something that you can trigger that consistently. So I'm going to B minus here.
I'm gonna be on a C plus because yeah, it is. At least it survives, right? But it doesn't seem super easy to do. Start as a C plus, I think. I kind of like it more as a 2-drop. 2-drop was a Kaldheim 2-2, same but no flying, because then you can play the 2-drop and something else. Here it's a bit harder. Like play a 3-drop and something else, it's much, much, much harder. So that's why it gets a C+. Aegis Sculptor for 3 and a blue. Flying 2-3 with Ward 2. That is horrible. But at the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile 2 target cards from your graveyard. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Man, that seems bad. It's a 2-3 when it enters. You gotta fulfill the condition. Not many cards, except the one that we just talked about kind of recently, the Essence Anchor, even care about you removing things from your graveyard. And it's on your upkeep. Conditional, slow. Doesn't really block anything when it enters the battlefield. It can win the game. Ward 2 is nice, so they gotta pay more, can just kill it easily. But I don't like this card at all. I'm gonna be on a D for this. I like the 3-3
I'll go D+.
mobilize more. Oh, sorry, what?
Yeah, I'll just go D+.
Okay.
Ward 2 is relatively irritating, but nothing special.
What is irritating? Ward 2, Yeah, but
Ward
I mean,
2 irritating.
On this card.
Constrictor Sage. 4 and a blue for a creature Snake Wizard. It's a 4/4. And when this creature enters, tap target creature an opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. Renew, 2 and a blue, exile this card from your graveyard, tap target creature an opponent controls, and put a stun counter on it. Activate only as a sorcery. Not bad. Not bad. And the fact that you can do it twice, I'm really happy just trading this off for anything after it comes into play and then just tap something again, which is very annoying effect to just have in your back pocket. Very good if you mill this over. It's just an effect that you have in your back pocket. Powerful. I do think this is a B-.
Yeah, this is great. B- as well. Good 5-drop, and it does something else later. Fuck yeah. Can you read the next one, please?
Bewildering Blizzard. 4 blue for an instant. Draw 3 cards. Creatures your opponents control get -3/-0 until end of turn. So I think that this one's pretty good. I think this one's pretty good.
I think it's great.
The turn, there's such a pain point in card draw spells that the turn you want to do it is such a painful turn for you, like
Yep.
on board, right? It's such a painful turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never that sad about drawing a bunch of cards and spending a bunch of cards, or just drawing a bunch of cards to not put power and toughness on the battlefield, because the turn that you have after that, if you survive, usually you can double spell and catch up a little bit. So I'm not as worried about the fact that this doesn't put anything on the battlefield. I am super jazzed that the turn that you cast this, you're going to be relatively safe. Like, you're not taking that much damage, especially if you cast this on curve. I think this card is very strong.
Even against Mobilize.
Yep. B- for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna B- as well. I think it could even be a B. This is kind of the problem is that it costs Tiho. The problem is that it costs 6 mana, so it could take a while, right, until you can play it. But Buha, Tiho.
I didn't even mention talking about using it as a combat trick.
Yeah, you use this combat trick as well. I mean, 6 mana, but you draw 3 cards, so you can even be attacking, right? You attack, they block, and they, if anything is trading, your things are just not gonna die. Probably that's the first thing. You attack, your things don't die. On the defense, well, maybe they're going for a little swing back, whatever. Now they deal basically no damage. So you're either gaining a lot of life or you're having an attack where you wouldn't otherwise, and you're gonna draw 3 cards. So I'm actually on a B for this one, and I don't give a damn that it costs 6 mana. This is kind of what as Scotty said. Even when you're paying 3 mana to draw 2, it could be back-breaking because you lose too much life. This makes you not lose that life. And when it costs 6, at that point, you're fine expending this mana to maybe not fully affect the board. Because you do gain that life, so that's pretty huge. I love it. I'm gonna be. This is amazing. So good. I just gotta wash
Now we're on rares,
my
right?
hands.
I'm gonna read the first rare. Stillness in Motion, 1 and a blue for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill 3 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, exile this enchantment and put 5 cards from your graveyard on top of your library in any order. This is a very bizarro Magic card. This one, to me, is very, very strange. This has no effect when you cast it. It's relatively easy to just slot in, though, which is fine. It's not a good grade. I'm not quite sure it's an F. Because you can actually, you're going to get to the bottom of your deck relatively quickly. And on the way, if you have enough stuff that does stuff from your graveyard, it gets you a little bit of value, The main thing that's drawing me to this at all is the fact that it only costs 2. So we're not tempoing ourselves super duper hard. I think it's a D-. I think it's a D-. I actually don't think this is an F. Only because it's cheap.
It is bad. This is bad. This is pretty damn bad. Oh, wait a second. It's not even that fast, man. It's not even that fast.
You Guys, don't even need the 1/5. It does it on its own.
Like, there is no deck with this and a 1/5. That 1/5 is shit. Come on, guys. Think with your heads, please. It's 2 mana. You gotta tap a creature. Tap it, tap it, tap it. You can use it one single time, which means they kill it. Done. You die if you don't have a deck. This is not that fast. That's the problem. Like, it is not that fast. Maybe if you mill 10, I will be behind it, but I'm just gonna give it an F. I can't see this being better than anything in your deck. Any card. Even if you get the best 5 cards back. But I'm probably gonna play it once when I get some perfect things. There's one green uncommon. What do you wanna say?
Oh no, there's common ways in white and green to kill this. Which then you die.
That's a problem. That's a problem, yeah. Opponent can just wait a bit. And before you mill the last 3 cards, boom, boom. Dragonologist. For 2 and a blue, it's a 1/3. Bad, but when it enters, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant, sorcery, or dragon card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Untapped dragons you control have hexproof? Oh, huh. So they gotta kill this before they kill your dragons? I mean, this is great if you have... This is worse than a 3 mana 2/1 that throws you a card, right, Scotty?
Yes.
And it's fine, it's a C. Minus or C. C minus probably. Depending on your deck. I guess C. C is okay.
C is fine. You know, the thing that looks like trinket text is actually not that bad here.
It's not bad. It really isn't bad.
It's not bad. It's a pretty good effect.
No, pretty good effect.
Winter Night Stories, 2 and a blue for sorcery. Draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discarded a creature card. Harmonize, 4 and a blue.
Now that's something.
There are a decent amount of cards in this set that you're pretty happy pitching as creatures.
Because they have renewal.
Renew. Yep, which is going to feel excellent. And then that means this is a lot of value for relatively cheap. I think there's certainly going to be some setups where this card is a huge groan from your opponent when you cast this. Because this is just going to spiral you so far ahead for not that much mana. Relatively cheap.
Yeah.
So I think this one is pretty strong. I'm going to give this one a B-.
Yeah, this one I'm on a B. This is just so much card advantage. B, just a B. I love it. Naga Fleshcrafter for... Oh, 1 second. Blue commons and uncommons. I gotta say, not impressed. The creatures don't look that great. The dragon is bad. Feels like it's not comparable to white. Just as a base color.
Yeah, it looks like crap.
But the power is gonna come from multicolor cards as well. So just let's keep an open mind. See what there is in multicolor cards. That's where a lot of power in this set is coming from. Naga Flesh Crafter for 3 and a blue. It's a 0/0. You may have this creature enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield. And it also has Renew, which is for 2 and a blue. Exile this card from your graveyard to the +1/+1 counter on target non-legendary creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature until the end of turn. Okay. Okay. That's pretty good. I'm gonna give this a B.
Yeah, the front side is whatever. The back side is extremely strong for
Nice.
3 mana
Nice.
as a late game. Everything becomes a copy of your best creature. Or whatever creature you need it to be. Everything becomes a copy of that 1/3 that mills them, and then you deck them out in one attack. Heck yeah, let's go.
Or you probably kill them, right?
Yeah, or be boring and kill them. Yeah, I
Be
guess
boring,
so.
kill
I
them.
guess you could do that. But yeah, I think this is powerful. B for me as well.
Oh, this one is super cool.
This is Ambling Stormshell, 3 blue for a creature turtle. It's a 5/9 with ward 2. Whenever this creature attacks, put 3 stun counters on it and draw 3 cards. Whenever you cast a turtle spell, untap this creature.
No turtles.
Yeah,
There are no
so
turtles in the set.
that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. So don't even worry about it. You cast this for 5. It blocks everything but flyers. Like it's hard to remove this on curve efficiently. It's hard to remove a 9 toughness creature with ward 2 on curve. Strong. And then when you're ready, when you're not getting beaten down, you turn this sideways and draw 3 cards and then win with your other cards because this is never untapping. Like it's essentially a draw 3 that you can defend yourself and then cash it in when you're ready, which I like. I think that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
I think it's good. I think it's pretty good. I think it's a B- for me, but it's a strong card. Strong card.
Yeah, I'm okay with a B-. Ooh, can you give vigilance to this? Oh, there is vigilance for it. There is vigilance. In green, right? Green gives vigilance.
The dream.
Oh. Wait, I gotta see this. There's a green uncommon, I think. Yeah, there's a green uncommon, which has harmonize as well, and it gives vigilance to creatures. I think that's the only one. Oh. Yeah, that's the only thing. So you give vigilance. That's really good. You give vigilance to this, you attack, draw 3 cards, and it's still there. Bouncing it is not. Bouncing it is kind of whatever. I mean, B-, yeah, seems fine. You decide what you do. Do you need to block, or can you draw those 3 cards? Even like, the thing is, let's say, even if let's say you always gotta attack and draw 3 cards. You just play the 5/9, so a lot of their things cannot attack. So you play that, and you are gonna draw cards, but on that turn, where, I mean, let's be real, when you pay 5 mana, draw 3 cards, you're probably not playing anything else, in most games. But it's blocked for you, right? Oh, that's better than B-, right? Because it's like a card draw spell that doesn't lose you life on that turn. Because you pay 5, they're not attacking into 5/9 probably. And then next turn you draw cards, but you can play them right away. So that you don't have You don't have that turn where you're super vulnerable when you draw a lot of cards. Okay, I'm gonna B for this one. What do you think about it? Cody?
Yeah, I think this card is better than that card, but I have them both at B-.
But it's like a card spell that protects you before you can play
Yep.
those cards.
Very nice.
And it comes back. It does come back. Really, just a B-? I think that's a little bit crazy. This card feels amazing. Marang, River Regent. For 4 and double blue, it's a 6/7 flyer. When this creature enters, return up to 2 target non-land permanents to their owner's hand. What the hell? Wait, 6 mana, 6/7 flying, and you return 2. You return 2 creatures or whatever to their owners. What the hell? Okay, and you can also omen it for 4 mana, instant speed, draw 3 cards, then discard a card. Sure, if you really need to do that, you pay. Okay, yeah, omen is great. Yeah, why not? Why not? But 6 mana, 6/7, you bounce 2 of their things. You just got a 6-drop. Cost less than 0 mana, probably. If that's possible. Less than 0 mana, basically. In most games. Or 0 mana. Okay, I mean, this is an A. This is just an A. This is a bomb. There is so much tempo that you get. And you can also draw cards, I guess, if you want that.
Card's nutty. Hey.
6-drop
Nuts.
with crazy tempo. Like, that's not normal.
It's a messed up line of text.
Yeah. They kill it to your head. That's wild. Okay, we're onto the mythics. Only one. Only one. Okay.
This is Taigam, Master Opportunist. 1 and a blue for a legendary creature, human monk. It's a 2/2. Has flurry. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, copy it. Then exile the spell you cast with 4 time counters on it. If it doesn't have suspend, it gains suspend. I mean, this is a strong bear.
Yeah.
This is a lot of value on a bear. I do think this is quite powerful. I do think that double spelling is difficult, right? And I don't think you can be particular about what value you're getting, but I'm happy just double spelling, period. Just double spelling, anything that can double spell. It's very, 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 very good. It is just a bear, and it can, at its worst, just be a bear if they kill it or you trade with it early.
Which is fine.
But, you know, if they let it go, and if you have the things to get to double spell, which is a decent amount of hoops, it's a very, very strong bear. Super strong, B+.
I don't know, but I mean, you gotta wait a long time to finally play it, right? To get the value and tempo from this, right? Like your spell gets exiled, so you gotta wait a long time. You didn't read that part, right?
It is actually hyper late, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like very, very. Still good, but
yeah, it could be much worse than a B+.
Yeah, but you gotta wait a long time. So you're losing some life, right? Because you're not trading. And you gotta wait a long time. I'm just gonna be on a B- for this one. Because a lot of times the game is gonna end before that.
I have a quiz for you. A rules quiz.
Hmm?
I have a rules quiz for you, Lola.
Yeah.
If you play Taigam, you're not playing limited, you're playing constructed, so this is already a fanciful rules question.
Mm-hmm.
And your second spell is an impended Overlord of the Bailmark. Do you know what happens?
Oh. It's gonna come in without counters. Wait.
Almost.
Give me Belkar.
It is a creature. And apparently it does have time counters, except the time counters don't do anything. It's still a creature. Yeah, it's weird, right?
Wait. What's the name of the card?
Overlord of the Bailmark.
Overlord
Dustborn?
of the Bailmark. I gotta just see it. Wait. So you're impending it, right? Enters with 5 time counters and it's a... But it gains suspend. What do you mean? I don't get it. What are you telling me? Repeat what you said.
Well, I'm just asking what happens when you impend Overlord of the Bailmark.
No, tell me what
happens.
No, don't ask me again, please. Tell me what happens.
Oh, nah, I'd rather just link the rules manager thread about it. But it's just for fun. Just for fun.
So no, come on. What happens?
Oh, you think I can you think I can explain the intricacies of the rules on this one?
Ah, that's the thing. Wait, so it just enters without it being suspended? That's what happens, right?
Yep. Yep. You get a 5/5.
You get 2/5/5s. Or what?
Well, one is on suspend, but then the one that you cast is a 5/5.
Oh,
The copy. The
that's
copy is a 5/5 creature. Yep.
I mean, that's pretty easy, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like that's pretty easy. Okay. I thought you asked me what happens with the one that gets suspended. I thought you get 2/5/5s.
No,
Okay.
no, you get 1/5/5.
But that makes sense. That makes sense.
Well, it comes into play with time counters. The time counters just don't do anything.
Oh,
And
it comes into play with time counters.
Yeah, the 5/5, which is very odd, right?
That is weird.
That is weird.
But you didn't cast this spell for its impending because you didn't cast it at all. That is weird. That is very weird. I have no idea why that happens. Okay, very important for limited, but still, it's okay. That's interesting. I didn't know that. No. I was asking because I didn't understand correctly. I thought you get 2/5/5s. Because that's the one I would understand the same. I wouldn't understand because I don't get it. Why does it enter with time counters? I have no idea. So I guess
No idea.
both would be confusing. Sorry.
What do you think about blue?
Blue? Not a big fan. Not a big fan. Compared to white, I think there is. It's okay with. It has okay value, I guess, but the creatures seem weak. Think with your head. The creatures seem very weak. Why does it have 5 time counters? I understand why it's a creature, why it's a 5/5 creature, but why does it have time counters on it?
I'll send you the thread later. I'll send you the Tayback thread later.
Yeah, do that. Because people are telling me, think with your head. No way. I don't understand. So, okay. I don't know. Blue creatures seem pretty small. What do you think? They all seem small. Usually, small creatures, 2-drops, 3-drops, especially, make a color pretty bad. But it is a 3-color set. But so it's not only about it's not as much about monocolor cards, but they're still very important.
So notably blue, for me, notably blue does not have a good removal spell at all.
Yeah, that's true.
They have the 1 mana bell ringing one that they can untap for 5 mana, which is a sketch removal spell, and then they have the trip up variant, which is a sketch removal spell. Unlike, for example, in the last set, Flood Out or Flood the Engine was like pretty decent removal spell. This set, nothing. And I think that's a relatively big deal if you're trying to go along with blue.
Yeah, the blue creatures sometimes they feel normal usually. A lot of times, like 2-drops feel like 2-drops. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna see. I hope blue is fine, but it doesn't look that good compared to white. White just feels like it has kind of everything. But you know what? I don't know how many. Like there has been a good amount of times where I was wrong about white, but this time I really feel that I'm right. Because I don't really see a big weakness in white decks here. But I have been sometimes, I know we've been, I know I have been wrong about white in certain sets. It feels like they're really good cards, but they don't really work together well. But I think they are going to work well together here. And blue always has that card draw, right? I guess it has it here as well. Not the best one ever, but it has that card draw. So can't be that bad, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's powerful cards, period. So I don't think it's bad enough to avoid. In fact, I just, I didn't think the last set was bad enough to avoid, and I don't think this one's going to be. Seems
DFT? Fine. DFT, like blue was, I think, the second best color. Huh? You don't agree?
That what?
I think in the last set, the DFT, blue was the second.